Hello, everyone. There it is. Jeez. Goodness, can barely hear me. Look at this. All right, we're getting everything situated here. How are we doing, everybody? Hope we're doing well. Happy Wednesday. We're on another episode of Let's Learn with Professor Void. So, to give it a little bit of like a precursor on what we did yesterday, we dove into summer. And just like the love for it, the nostalgia that we had for it. The climate around it, what people did and do. Sometimes summer breaks were different timings and stuff like that. And there was a part of it in there that I wanted to have a deeper dive into it. You know, I think there's something within summer that I pointed out that it caught my interest, and I did a little bit of researching and stuff. And sometimes, we like to keep it a little bit fresh, a little new on here. And granted, I want to let you know that I did a little bit of digging, and it's about drive-ins, and basically drive-in theaters, to be specific. And again, we skimmed it yesterday, and lo and behold, with the pandemic happening and just all these crazy stuff that's happening all around it, there was so much more to dive into it. There was the slow death from basically of capitalist blood-sucking, people trying to tear away from this beautiful venue, to the adrenaline shot to the neck of drive-ins being revitalized within a whole year of people getting into their cars and being shown what it was all about. And it was this beautiful resurgence. I would almost say it could rival Jesus coming back, to be honest. And there was so much, I feel like that was available to us. And of course, I went to the four corners of the people's internet: YouTube, Wikipedia, Qaro, I think that was called Qaro, and of course, a little known site known as archive.org, and I love this site, by the way. I get a lot of old footage from there, a lot of just old cool shit that happens from that. A lot of very interesting things come out of that. It's like a YouTube library, if I could say. Oh yeah. We've got internet, baby. Hey, Snuggie, how are you doing, my good sir? Welcome. Welcome. Let me just add some adjustments here. But first, I just wanted to kind of first open up the bridge between, the teacher and student. How are you guys doing? Like, what have been your experiences with drive-ins and stuff like that? Like, those watching later on, please leave it in the comments. I'm going to be uploading these to YouTube, so you'll be able to enjoy this stuff. But with me and drive-ins, it was always very interesting, just because like I've had moments to where turns out, I guess, there's a lot of things with drive-ins that I did not know that other people didn't know. Where it's just like, first of all, how limited drive-ins were until fairly recently. What was it? I was part of a program where basically they would have people from Europe come in, Europe, New Zealand, Australia, and they would come over to the US and work at like camp counselors. And sorry, I cooked some mushroom chicken and asparagus, so your boy's gonna be very gassy during this episode. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So, the Europeans and Australians and New Zealand, they were coming over, and I was part of this job working here. And basically during the weekends, of course, the program didn't provide them actually any living spaces, so the Americans had to do that. So, good for them, way to save a buck, I guess. And one of the number one things was, first of all, just drive-ins in general, drive-throughs, just how much Americans loved being in their cars. The whole drive-through bank, drive-through eateries, just anything. The drive-through bank really baffled them. And then I asked them, just like, oh, like, do you know about the drive-in theater? And she's like, yes, but like we've never been to one. So I was like, done, we're going. And I feel like you reach a certain age to where like you almost like you go to the drive-in, and depending on just like how you feeling, either you're watching a movie or you're not. And like you horny people in your first, second, third, shit, you old folks out there trying to just get snappy with it, try to go over to a drive-in. All right, you got to put some bing gain on the wrist, so you're not getting carpal tunnel. But either way, you're like 50-50, and like the whole experience to them was just, it was regal. And it really feels like I've always loved drive-ins. Like my ultimate goal was to go to drive-in ever since I saw The Outsiders. That first opening scene, and the kids, they're all like lined up for popcorn. The greasers and socias, they're all hanging out. You've got the bench seats in the back, and then you have the actual car seats up front and stuff. Oh, I've always loved that. And as soon as I saw that scene, I was just like, I gotta do it. And that was kind of like, that was when like I fell in love with drive-ins. And so I think that's when I kind of realized like, okay, I want to dive deeper into this. And I think that's what we're going to do today. And so let's see here. Oh, and yeah, totally didn't know that it was basically, what was it? It's on and off on the dash. I don't know specifics on like I guess, you know what? I'm probably going to get yelled at. Hold up. I'm going to have to change my title here. I'm not like I'm an emotional person. If someone comes in and starts yelling at me because I misspelled something, I'll fall apart on the spot. I'm very sensitive on my spelling. And bet money, if you hang out on my Discord or you read my YouTube titles, odds are you probably realize that, oh, there goes Void. He's a goober. He's a knucklehead. But hey, let's get right on to the subject. Okay, tell me what you think also about the music. Okay, I'm gonna keep it going with a little bit of the vintage since we're kind of stepping back. We're going to be covering a little bit of the history of it, and then we're going to be kind of reaching back forward on at least the resurgence of drive-ins. And again, I got so many things. I went to Reddit to try to figure out. There was like a Reddit post on someone working at drive-ins. I got a YouTube video for that. I got people like talking and asking questions on Curaro. So yeah, we got a few things. And of course, you know, as soon as we see something about what was it, like right now I'm on the Wikipedia page looking over, and I'm immediately seeing projection booth, and I'm just trying to figure out, I'm like, how do those suckers work? Because like, it's not just like you're a movie theater, you have a closed in box, you don't have to deal with like, you know, light coming in, you're just in this isolated area. So like, you're telling me all this light pollution, and you're able to send this mofo right down across the whole parking lot, and also in like pristine picture. Like, I've never been to a drive-in where it was like, oh, this is like, we're talking like 480p, my dude. This is it's no bueno. Let's see here. All right, everybody, let's get our asses on too. What the hell is up with drive-ins? Now, of course, we definitely got to have Brian in this. Brian, can you please tell our lovely viewers, and maybe, you know, we're going to try to speed up just a little bit, because I know I'm a little bit of a speedy reader, and I wonder if you all are too, but we'll find out. Let us see here.
Drive-in theater. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. A drive-in theater or drive-in cinema is a form of cinema structure consisting of a large outdoor movie screen, a projection booth, a concession stand, and a large parking area for automobiles.
Hell yeah.
Within this enclosed area, customers can view movies from the privacy and comfort of their cars. Some drive-ins have small playgrounds for children and a few picnic tables or benches.
We had one. There was a what was it? I was at a drive-in in Indiana, and it was Tibbs drive-in, and there was a nasty ass playground up front. Woo, man, it was not good. Man, you could see the rust 7 rows back in the cars and stuff, and I saw a couple kids on the teeter-totter, and man, like, let me tell you, I'll tell you what, that's straight up, this is what the fucking teeter-totter sounded like. You're just like, bitch, I'm here to watch Lilo and Stitch. What the hell happened? There's fucking, some jackass kids are over there like swinging on a swing set, chanting 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. Oh my goodness, it was terrifying. But yeah, oh my goodness, that was like, oh my god, it's always the 50-50. There's always like something going on with these old drive-ins and stuff like that. Hopefully we're gonna dive into some at least refurbished story tales of just like of a drive-in. Ooh, I wonder if there's like a how it's made drive-in. Hold up. I'm gonna add that to my notes here. New segment, everybody. It's note time. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's write that down. Let's write that down. How it's made drive-ins. Okay. We're gonna keep that. We're gonna keep the notes here. Handy dandy note plus notes, and let's see what's going on. All right, let's continue down. Brian, please continue.
The screen can be as simple as a wall that is painted white, or it can be a steel truss structure with a complex finish.
Oh,
Originally, the movie's sound was provided by speakers on the screen and later by individual speakers hung from the window of each car, which were attached to a small pole by a wire. These speaker systems were superseded by the more practical method of micro-broadcasting the soundtrack to car radios. This also has the advantage of the film's soundtrack to be heard in stereo on car stereo systems, which are typically of much higher quality and fidelity than the basic small mono speakers used in the old systems.
God forbid you actually had what was it? You actually had a system. Oh my goodness. I don't know if like anyone else was a victim of this, but did anyone else get like their front end radio jacked? Just came in with your windows smashed in at one point, and then like basically like you're just like your whole front end dash is just gutted. Oh, the whole like 2000 to like 2010 vehicles where the little like radio plate thing snapped in. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, those always got jacked, and you couldn't like you'd be done. Ah, all right. Let's see what's up. The history of drive-ins.
History. Early drive-ins. Before World War II, a partial drive-in theater de Guadalupe was opened in Las Cruces, New Mexico, on April 23, 1915. 700 people may be comfortably seated in the auditorium. Automobile entrances and places for 40 or more cars within the theater grounds and in-line position to see the pictures and witness all performances on the stage is a feature of the place that will please car owners.
Oh, shit.
The first movie shown by the Theater de Guadalupe was Bags of Gold, produced by Sigmund Lubin. Theater de Guadalupe soon was renamed Deluxe Theater before closing in July 1916.
Damn.
In 1921,
Hold up. Oh wow, look at that bad boy. Look at all these like Model Ts. When there was like no individuality with cars. You fucking look at that. Look at the flat level of just cars. That's hilarious. First drive-in theater. Pennsauken, New Jersey, 1933. Look at that. There's the first one, ladies and gentlemen. Came right.
And you can see here the brand new Model T of the people gathering up to watch the latest in the news. You got the auditoriums there. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to today's movie theater, tonight's Silent Joe film. And the Billy Bob and the Boys, something like that.
Couldn't imagine. That's wild though. Damn, they like add some structure to that one too.
In 1921, a drive-in was opened by Claude V. Caver in Comanche, Texas. Caver obtained a permit from the city to project films downtown. With cars parked bumper to bumper, patrons witnessed the screening of silent films from their vehicles. In the 1920s, outdoor movies became a popular summer entertainment, but relatively few drive-in experiments were made due to logistical difficulties. The drive-in theater was patented in Camden, New Jersey by chemical company magnate Richard M. Hollingshead Jr., whose family owned and operated the R.M. Hollingshead Corporation chemical plant in Camden. In 1932, Hollingshead conducted outdoor...
What was up with like people back in I've always like there's always like the weirdest trend of that. Of just people back in the day with like, oh, like this guy was a knee surgeon back in the day, and it turns out he invented something like the inventor just doesn't correlate with like the job that they had. Oh yeah, this librarian invented the toothbrush. The fuck did that come from? Now you're telling me this chemical plant guy was just like you know what? I'm like really bored. Like chemicals are the shit. And I love it, but it's just like I want to, like, you know, movies, right? Yeah, I just want them bigger, but I don't want to leave my car. Like what, dude? You're huffing your chemicals too much, my dude. What are you talking about? Yeah, look at that.
After nailing a screen to trees in his backyard, he set a 1928 Kodak projector on the hood of his car and put a radio behind the screen, testing different sound levels with his car windows down and up. Blocks under vehicles in the driveway enabled him to determine the size and spacing of ramps so all automobiles could have a clear view of the screen. Hollingshead applied for a patent of his invention on August 6, 1932, and he was given US patent 1,909,537 on May 16, 1933.
Wow, my dude was so fucking bored. He got a patent. That's hilarious. Wait, okay. Blocks under the driveway to enable him to determine the size of the spacing of the ramp so all the automobiles could have a clear viewing. So, wow. That's hilarious. I wonder if drive-ins do like a little bit of like a ramp thing nowadays. No, they would probably just ramp it up now. Or no, I guess like the screens are kind of high enough. Maybe. How low were the screens back then? I guess really low, I guess.
Hollingshead's Drive-In opened in New Jersey June 6, 1933, on Admiral Wilson Boulevard in Pennsauken Township, a short distance from Cooper River Park. Rosemont Avenue now runs through where the theater was. It offered 400 slots and a 40 by 50 feet, 12 by 15 meters, screen. He advertised his drive-in theater with the slogan, "The whole family is welcome, regardless of how noisy the children are." The first film shown was the Adolph Menjou film Wives Beware. Failing to make a profit, Hollingshead sold the theater after 3 years to a Union, New Jersey, theater owner who moved the infrastructure to that city, but the concept caught on nationwide. The April 15, 1934, opening of Shankweiler's Auto Park in Orfield, Pennsylvania, was followed by Galveston's Drive-In Short Reel Theater, July 5, 1934. The Pico Drive-In Theater at Pico and Westwood Boulevards in Los Angeles, September 9, 1934, and the Weymouth Drive-In Theater in Weymouth, Massachusetts, May 6, 1936. In 1937, 3 more opened in Ohio, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island, with another 12 during 1938 and 1939 in California, Florida, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New York, Texas, and Virginia. Early drive-in theaters had to deal with sound issues. The original Hollingshead Drive-In had speakers installed on the tower itself which caused a sound delay affecting patrons at the rear of the drive-in's field. In 1935, the Pico Drive-In Theater attempted to solve this problem by having a row of speakers in front of the cars. In 1941, RCA introduced in-car speakers with individual volume controls which solved the noise pollution issue and provided satisfactory sound to drive-in patrons. Just before World War II, 9 of the 15 drive-in movie theaters open in the United States were operated by Philip Smith, who promoted a family-friendly environment by allowing children to enter free and built playgrounds. Peak, late 1940s,
here we go.
1960s. After 1945, rising car
Wait. You're not gonna just skip over the pics here. All right. Man, look at that signage. Okay. Monsters. Oh, okay. Man, I was literally about to be like, what? What the fuck do you mean? Telling me Monsters University is being shown at this drive-in? Like Iron Man 3, White House Down, Heat, World War Z, Man of Steel. I was about to freak out. I thought this was like an old photo, like back in the 60s. Like, my God. Oh, shit. Oh, it's Google architecture. Okay. And then Sandel. Okay. Cool. All right. So the 1940s. That's what we got here. All right. Woo! Let's get it.
After 1945, rising car ownership and
Hold up. Brian, come on. You're not... Oh, this is just a description of the photograph. Okay, gotcha.
After 1945, rising car ownership and suburban and rural population led to a boom in drive-in theaters, with hundreds being opened each year. More couples were reunited and having children, resulting in the baby boom, and more cars were being purchased following the end of wartime fuel rationing. By 1951, the number of drive-in movie theaters in the United States had increased from its 1947 total of 155 to 4,151. The drive-in's peak popularity came in the late 1950s and early 1960s,
Holy shit.
particularly in rural areas, with over 4,000 drive-ins spread across the United States in 1958. They were a cheaper alternative to indoor cinema theaters because not only did they save the gas of driving out to the city and then back home, but the cost of building and maintaining a drive-in theater was cheaper than that of an indoor theater.
Bet, yeah, no AC.
Lower overall cost of attendance. Among its advantages was the fact that older adults with children could take care of their infant while watching a movie, while youth found drive-ins ideal for a first date. Unlike indoor cinema theaters, there was an air of informality which was appealing to people of all ages, but specifically to families. The drive-in's success was rooted in its reputation of being a family-friendly place. Parents were able to bring their children to the theater, often in pajamas, without having to worry about bothering other moviegoers, and were also able to spend time together without paying the expenses of babysitters. Drive-ins catered to their known audience, offering luxuries such as bottle warmers and diaper vending machines, and later miniature golf courses, swimming pools, and even motels on the land with windows facing the screens so that viewers could watch the films from their beds. During the 1950s, the greater privacy afforded to patrons gave drive-ins a reputation as immoral, and they were labeled passion pits in the media. The 1978 movie Grease portrays the local drive-in as a preferred spot for trysts. At their height, some drive-ins used attention-grabbing gimmicks to boost attendance. They ranged from drawings for prizes and free admission, small airplane runways, helicopter or hot air balloon rides, unusual attractions such as a small petting zoo or cage of monkeys, personal appearances by actors to open their movies, or musical groups to play before the show. Some drive-ins held Sunday religious services, or charged a flat price per car on slow nights like Wednesdays or Sundays. On buck or bargain nights during the 1950s and 1960s, the admission price was $1 per car.
Ooh, damn. Oh, $1. I mean... That's wild. Damn. Oh my goodness. You can't. A good old $1. Damn. That's what I'm talking about. That's the America that I miss. Where $1 admission to a movie, and another $1 for a large popcorn and drink. Me and my heterosexual family, we go out and we just ignore the urban life. You know how it goes, right? Back in the 50s, where gas was a cent and a good old movie was $1. Whew. Can I get a hallelujah?
As revenue was more limited than regular theaters since showings could only begin at twilight, there were abortive attempts to create suitable conditions for daylight viewing such as large tent structures, but nothing viable was developed. One of the largest drive-in theaters was the Johnny All-Weather Drive-In in Copiague, New York. Covering over 29 acres, it could park 2,500 vehicles.
Shit.
It had a full-service restaurant with seating on the roof, and a trolley system to take children and adults to a playground, and a large indoor theater for bad weather or for those who wanted to watch in air-conditioned comfort.
The fuck? The hell? We gotta look this thing up. You're telling me this gorgeous... Okay. Johnny All-Weather Drive-In.
One of the largest drive-in theaters was the Johnny All-Weather Drive-In in...
Of course it was a New York thing. Yeah, you come over to the Johnny all-weather drive-in. We're gonna treat you real good. You come in with your kids. We're gonna have a good time. We got the AC pumping. Well, I mean, sir, how much is this gonna cost me? It'll cost you about 50 cents and a kiss on the cheek. Come here. Oh, wait. No. What am I trying to do? Come here. All right. There it is. Little smack on the ass. Now, Johnny.
One of the largest drive-in theaters was...
Brian, we're good. Thank you. Oh, thank God. It loads like it's 1982. Jeez. Hold on, let's see if we can zoom in on this bad boy. The world's only all-weather drive-in theater, Sunrise Highway, near Nassau, Suffolk County line. Southern State Parkway, exit 22 south of the Open year-round, day and night, rain or shine, Saturday at 5 p.m. benefit show for the St. Charles Hospital. We love the kids. Heaven knows, Miss Allison. Sunday at 2 p.m. They even got church service. Men in War plus True Story by Jesse James. Hey, you folks, I'm Johnny Allweather. Look at Johnny Allweather over here. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh. I love him. He's adorable. You can put him in your pocket. Oh my, oh God. How you doing? My name is Johnny. Johnny kind of grew up there. Oh shit. The year brought the all-weather drive-in theater at Babylon, New York, where there is a 2,000 car ramp area and a 1,300 set indoor theater. It is first of its kind in the country, shown here, Johnny Allweather. The gallivanting aide camp to manager and general merrymaker for patrons who is ready to lend a helping hand whenever needed at the theater. Oh my gosh. Hey, look at this. You come over here, we take a picture of your kids. Look at those little rascals passing out. No babysitting need apply. These pajamas clad noisemakers have given up at last and gone to bed. That's right, kids. You go ahead and get yourself to sleep. Me and your mom, we're gonna touch tongues. He's like, oh my God, Dad, what the hell are you doing? Shut the fuck up, Tony. Just go to sleep. Oh my gosh. Harold, I don't know. We shouldn't do this. Not with the kids. Kids, yeah, Marie. Don't worry about it. Come on. Let's take it back to where we were high schoolers. Oh my gosh. Is there a video in this place, I wonder? Johnny Allweather Drive-In. It's not there. Oh no! What happened to Johnny? Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Oh my gosh. I like that. The title is just like, it's not there. Immediately. Hey, were you trying to find Johnny too? Guess what? He's not there anymore.
Hi, welcome back to Copeg News. I'm Matt Napa with another edition of It's Not There.
Oh my gosh. I like this guy. He's just like, yeah, you want to go here? Guess what? It's not there anymore. All right. So how about you go slap on your ass, give yourself a kiss, and you get the fuck on out of here, all right? It's not here.
Today I'm in front of the site of the old Johnny Allweather Drive-In. This parking lot for a strip of chains that includes Home Depot, CVS Pharmacy, and Red Lobster was once an important part of the post-war baby boom experience, and anybody who grew up on the South Shore
Oh
of
my
Long Island
gosh.
in the baby boomer years surely
Lord.
has memories to share of that Johnny All-Weather Drive-In. On April 20th, 1957, the Johnny All-Weather Drive-In Theater opened to the general public at 1001 Sunrise Highway, Copiague, New York. The family amusement facility was built by Prudential Theaters and later operated by United Artists Theaters. Prudential Theaters would also operate and manage approximately 15 movie theaters and 8 drive-in theaters on Long Island. A lot of young people today missed out on the drive-in experience when cars would pull into a parking spot and the driver would reach out to get the speaker that hung on a cement pole. The all-weather drive-in facility experience included an outdoor rooftop viewing area, full-service cafeteria, outdoor concession stand, playground, and a trolley train named Tally-Ho that would
Look
take
at
you
that
from the
thing.
front gate to the indoor theater. If you grew up in Copiague in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, you probably remember sneaking into the movie theater one way or another, whether it was in the trunk of a car, under a blanket on the backseat floor, or you could simply jump the low wood fence that was in the back of the theater. By the time my crew came along in the 70s, there was a hole in the fence that they never bothered to patch up. The first movie to play at the All-Weather was Heaven Knows, Mr. Allison, starring Robert Mitchum and Deborah Carr. The drive-in was constructed on the south side of Sunrise Highway across from the hamlet of North Amityville and Copiague's Benjamin Benneker Community Center, which later became a bowling alley and the roller ice skating rink. The Copiague Drive-In has become something of historical importance, and there are many websites which document the drive-in theater history of America that detail the Johnny All-Weather Drive-In. The Johnny All-Weather had its last season and closed their door in 1984. Today, like a lot of the American